Okay. First, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. It's a nice turnout. Happy to be here. I'm going to get to your questions eventually, but first I have a little presentation which gives a little background on how I got involved with the Transformers and what I did in the early years, et cetera. So that might by itself answer a lot of your questions as well as prompt a lot of new questions. So let me begin. First, my name is Bob Budiansky, and I worked on Transformers. So if you're not here for that reason, then you're probably in the wrong room. Okay. So here's what you see. What you see here is the treatment for the Transformers. This is where it all began at Marvel Comics. What happened was Hasbro Toys, following up on their partnership with Marvel in developing G.I. Joe a couple of years earlier, came back to Marvel in 1983 with this new property that they were developing called Transformers. And as probably everybody in this room knows, what Hasbro did was they made some kind of a licensing deal with a couple of Japanese toy companies, Takara and Bandai, and they took the toys that were already being produced by those companies and they rebranded them as Transformers. At that point, they approached Marvel and said, you know, you did such a great job developing G.I. Joe into a storyline and characters for G.I. Joe. We'd like you to do the same thing for Transformers. So I was not involved at any point yet. So what you see here is the first page of the treatment that was written by Jim Shooter. Jim Shooter at the time was the editor-in-chief of Marvel. He did this as part of his day job. He did not get paid extra for it. So he wrote this treatment, which says, "Civil war rages on the planet Cybertron. Destruction is catastrophic and widespread, and yet no life is lost," and so on and so forth. I don't want to read it all day here, but you get the idea. So from this treatment stemmed everything that became Transformers. And the treatment went on, page 2, page 3, page 4. Now you see there's some little bits of editing there. That's my handwriting. So Jim came to me at some point and said, "Oh, we're changing the name of Mount St. Helens to Mount St. Hilary, and we're changing the name of Anti, which was the spacecraft that the Transformers came over to Earth on, to the Ark." So you can see how it was scribbled out and other things were written in. But at this point, I guess I was already involved, and he was dictating to me some changes. And page 5, and page 6, and then you see there's some character development. So you can see that Spike Witwicky was changed to Buster Witwicky in the original treatment. You can see Spike is all crossed out, Buster's written in. Again, these were all changes that were dictated to me by my boss, Jim Shooter. I was a staff editor at the time. And then we have a couple of descriptions of characters, Optimus Prime and Prowl. So anyway, what you're seeing is the original treatment as written by Jim Shooter, as slightly edited by me under his direction. And this is what was turned into Hasbro.